Hey, are you thinking about moving to the Dallas area, or maybe you've been around here for a couple of years already and you're wondering what the heck is there to do on the weekends when you want to get out of town? Well, in this video, we're going to introduce you to some places that maybe you've heard of before and some that you probably have never heard of before. So sit back, buckle up, because we're going to get you out of town for the weekend right now.
Saludos y bienvenido a nuestro canal y a la ciudad de Dallas, Texas. Hey, if this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living, eating, working, or playing in the Dallas area or any of the Dallas, Texas suburbs like McKinney, Allen, Prosper, Frisco, subscribe below, tap that notification bell so that you can be the first to know about the current market in the Dallas area. Hi, my name's Marilyn. This is my husband, Mike. You know, we get calls every single day from people just like you who are looking for help in moving into the Dallas area, and we just love it. So whether you're moving in a few days, in a few weeks, in a few months, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. All our information is down below. We would love to help you make that smooth move into the Dallas area.
So Dallas is very centrally located, making it an easy drive for some weekend getaway. There are so many great places to visit around here, and we're going to introduce you again to 8 places that we think that you're really going to enjoy. And we're going to start very close to home with Fort Worth. Now, depending upon where you're driving from in the Dallas area, it's going to take you anywhere from 45 minutes or an hour or so to get over to Fort Worth. So downtown Fort Worth is completely different from the urban feel of downtown Dallas. Fort Worth is a mix between the urban cowboy experience and the urban professional who wants to experience the arts. So if you're looking for that true cowboy experience, your first stop has got to be the Stockyards in the Fort Worth area. Here you can actually see a cattle drive that takes place twice a day. You can eat some great barbecue. You can take in a rodeo. You can even stop at a lot of the touristy shops that are around there and get yourself a cowboy hat or a pair of cowboy boots, whatever you feel you need to be in that Texas mood. Now, if you really want to experience that cowboy culture, you got to make a stop at Billy Bob's, Texas. Now, Billy Bob's has over 100,000 square foot of entertainment space. They have more than 30 bars, and you can enjoy some of country music's biggest stars that entertain there every once in a while. They also have pro bull riding if you want to chance it, and if you want to try a little two-stepping, get out onto the Texas-sized dance floor, because Billy Bob's has also been known as the world's largest honky-tonk.
All right, so if the cowboy culture isn't your thing, then you need to head over to the Sundance Square. Here, you're going to find a variety of upscale Texas restaurants with some pretty amazing and innovative Texas cuisines. You're going to find restaurants such as The Wicked Butcher, which is an amazing steakhouse, and everybody knows that Mike and I love steak. You're going to find Toro, which is described as Pan-Latin meets Texas, serving steaks and barrel-aged cocktails. You're also going to find 61 Osteria, which is an upscale Italian restaurant, and Grace, which is a very intimate dining experience for you to take your date. But if that is not enough and you want something a little bit more exciting, something a little bit more exhilarating, maybe a little bit more relaxing, then you need to go ahead and make plans to visit the Panther Island Pavilion. This is the only waterfront stage in Texas, and it's built along the Trinity River. It has as its backdrop downtown Fort Worth, which is beautiful at night. So grab your inner tube, float around the water, and listen to your favorite band play on the pavilion. They also host a variety of festivals and events throughout the year as well. Now, if you're looking for something a little bit more upscale, a little bit something more dressy, then you need to make plans to go to the Bass Performance Hall. Now, the Bass Performance Hall really is the crown jewel of downtown Fort Worth. You know, at the Bass, you're really going to experience a pretty amazing atmosphere. The acoustics are phenomenal. And there you will find, you can see performances like the ballet, the opera. You're going to have classical music, concerts. It really is a true experience for you and your family to go and see. I know we've been there with our kids when they were younger, and it was just a great experience. All right, guys, and this is not an exhaustive list of Fort Worth or of any of the areas that we're going to be covering. So for each area, we're going to include a link in the description below so that if you find a place that you want to go to, you can just click on that and make your plans.
All right, so if your weekend getaways are going to include visiting some big cities in Texas, then Austin, Texas is going to be on your list as well. Now, Austin is probably about 3 to 3.5 hour drive south of Dallas, depending upon where you're traveling from in Dallas. In 2021, Leisure and Travel magazine rated the top 15 cities to visit, and Austin came in at number 13. There were 2 other Texas cities that made the list, and San Antonio was number 6, and Fort Worth was number 12. So Austin is truly a quirky city, and it's known for its bats, its tacos, its music, and basically just keeping it weird. So Austin is not only the capital of Texas, but it's also known as the live music capital of Texas. Why? Austin has been celebrating the Old Settlers Music Festival for the past 30 years. South by Southwest is an annual event that's been held for global professionals, and they feature sessions in music, they have comedy showcases, there's film screenings, exhibitions, professional development, and of course, it's a huge networking opportunity for those people that are attending the event. The Austin City Limits Festival is an event that attracts 70,000 fans per day, and they have over 100 bands that entertain throughout the weekend of the festival. Of course, there are a ton more venues that you're going to find around Austin where you're going to find local artists performing, whether they be on a street corner, a bar, a local coffee shop. As we said, Austin, it gets a little quirky and a little fun, so be prepared. So Austin does have a pretty happening nightlife. So if that's something that you're looking to do when you're in Austin, make sure you visit Rainey Street or Austin's famous 6th Street, where you're going to find a ton of clubs, bars, and restaurants to have fun at. Some of the more popular spots that you'll find is a place called the Higher Ground. There's also the Mayfair, which they have proclaimed themselves as Austin's premier lounge and nightclub, which a lot of people say for a club that's on 6th Street is a little bougie, but that's what they say. And if you need a reason to dress up, they also have a dress code. So when you're going down to 6th Street, if you're going to visit the Mayfair, make sure you're dressed appropriately if you want to go in and visit there. There's also a club called Outer Haven, which is the opposite of Mayfair, where they say they cater to the crowd that actually is keeping Austin weird. So you can dress up for Mayfair or dress down and go to the Outer Haven. And then there's the Volstead Lounge and the Empire Control Room. There's also a ton more, but that just gives you an idea of some of the places that you can visit around Austin. So if you have a favorite club around Austin, make sure you drop it in the comments below, because we'd love to hear from everybody on what your favorite places are, because there are so many of them to enjoy around Austin.
Now, of course, you can't have a weekend getaway from Dallas without some great food. And lucky for you, Austin is full of delicious places to eat. You know, some of these to mention is the Slab Barbecue and Beer. You have Alamo, which is modern Southern food. You have Garrison, which is an upscale grill house. The Veracruz, which is all natural. And it has a cult following because of its migas tacos. You have fresh tacos that are stuffed with eggs, tortilla chips, avocado, pico de gallo, and cheese. Delicious.
Wow. Awesome.
And then the last one you have is Old Thousand, which is a hip Chinese Texas joint that offers an eclectic mixed flavors of ingredients in American Chinese recipes. So check it out. And not sure if you knew this or not, but Austin is also home to one of the largest urban bat population in the country. Not about you, but bats give me the creeps. But if bat is your thing, then head over to the Congress Avenue Bridge, and you can actually see these bats in flight as they seek their meals, right? Their evening meals. But they only fly between the spring and the fall season. So pick your times. And if that is not enough, there are some places that we feel like you really need to go visit and take a stroll through. And one of those is, of course, like Mike said, a must on the famous 6th Street. That is the entertainment district located in downtown Austin. You have to tour the state capitol, tour the halls of the biggest building in the Capitol building in the country. It's over 12 feet taller than the Capitol building in DC. You have to walk the Greenbelt. The Greenbelt has over 12 miles of beautiful hike and bike trails. You need to visit the Cathedral of Junk, which is over 60 tons of junk molded into some kind of a structure. So a pretty interesting sight. You also can tour the breweries. This is a fun place, fun place to be because they have over 50 plus craft beers that, you can tour, taste the breweries, and just have a lot of fun. And Austin also has over 12 lakes, if that is your thing, to go and hang out in the water, do a little boating, fishing, kayaking, whatever there is. Austin doesn't fall short when it comes to lakes. And because there's so much to do in Austin, as we're doing with the other cities, we're going to drop a link in the description below so that you can have a full guide and plan your weekend trip to Austin.
So our next weekend getaway that we'd like to share with you is Glen Rose, Texas. So Glen Rose is about 1.5 to 2 hours drive southwest of Dallas, again, depending upon where you live in Dallas. So Glen Rose, Texas is a place that people get away for the weekend when you want to get in touch with nature, both alive and deceased. So Fossil Rim Wildlife Center is a 1,650 acre preserve that has over 100 exotic, threatened, and endangered animals that roam free throughout the park. It's a self-driven tour, and you can drive through the area and get up close with wildlife, including giraffes, deer, ostriches, and a lot of other different animals. You can also stay overnight in one of the camps or lodges that are available, but just make sure you make a reservation before you go because it does get busy on the weekends. Okay, so some of the deceased wildlife that you may want to stay in touch with is at Dinosaur Valley Park, and they have a guided GPS tour that will take you around and help you check out some of the dinosaur tracks that are found in the packed in mud along the Paluxy River. So that's a pretty interesting, cool thing to do, to look at some of those old dinosaur tracks. Another top attraction around that area is Big Rock Park. Now, you can enjoy the lovely scenery around Big Rock Park. You can do some hiking. You can cool off in the Paluxy River. Or, again, a lot of people have made this a spot for a photo op since the scenery is gorgeous and you're not going to get down there every weekend, so it's a good way to remember your trip to Glen Rose, Texas. So, after you're visiting with the alive wildlife and the deceased wildlife, you may want to check out some of Glen Rose's local restaurants. Now, Glen Rose isn't a large area, but there are some pretty cool places for you to check out. And one of them is the Loco Coyote. And that is located just a little outside the downtown Glen Rose area. Another local favorite is Blackie's on the Square. Now, this is a cool little bar where you can enjoy some great food and some craft cocktails.
All right, so our next stop is Fredericksburg, and this is about 250 miles southwest from Dallas, so it's probably going to take you about 4 hours, a little bit longer of a trip, but well worth it. You know, Fredericksburg was a quiet little German town until recently that it exploded as one of the top wine destinations here in the North Dallas area. So when you combine all of the boutique wineries and the outdoor activities, shopping, and the great food that Fredericksburg has to offer, you can easily see why it's one of the best weekend getaways in Dallas. There are over 50 wineries, and some of the ones that you may want to visit are the Fat Ass Ranch, Messina Hoff, Grape Creek Vineyards, Becker Vineyards, and a whole bunch more, but these are some of the ones that we like. You can spend the week there and not be able to try them all. Also, their hours of operation vary, so make sure you check with each winery before you set out on your destination. You can also enjoy the outdoors and do some hiking at the Enchanting Rock State Park. You can hike on the huge dome-shaped rock or enjoy some of the other hiking trails that are there at the state park. The elevation does rise to 425 feet, so if you hike to the top in the springtime, you will get a great view of the surrounding hill country. So it's a great photo op. Enchanted Rock is a really popular area, so make sure to make reservations in advance. Some of the other things that you can do in Fredericksburg to enjoy your time is you can stroll around Main Street, where there's going to be tons of shopping, boutiques, everything from home furnishings to clothes to jewelry. You can also visit the various museums that are along Main Street. And of course, you can enjoy the amazing German cuisine at Auslander's, a popular spot along Main Street, and enjoy an ice cold beer in the beer garden. So remember, Fredericksburg is a little bit of a drive, so make sure that you look at the guide that we are posting below so that you can check out times and make reservations to see some of your favorite places.
Okay, our next stop on our weekend getaway tour is Waco, Texas. Now, Waco is about 97 miles south of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so it may take you about 2 hours or so to reach your destination. Now, Waco is home to Baylor University, which is also known as the Baylor Bear. So the university, along with the HGTV series Chip and Joanna Gaines, has made Waco a popular spot for weekend getaways. So fair warning, if you are heading down there on a weekend, it does get crowded. So when you're down there, make sure you plan on stopping by the Magnolia Market, which is a decorator's dream come true that's spread out on over 2 acres of land. So after you finish your shopping, make sure you stop by some of the on-site food trucks, or you can grab a delicious baked item from the Silo Bakery that is located in the Magnolia shopping area. So if shopping isn't your thing in the Waco area, you're in luck, because we have several breweries and distilleries and wineries that you can choose to visit as well. Some of the noteworthy ones that you want to visit when you're down there are the Waco Ale Company, the Valley Mills Vineyards, or Balcones Distilling, where you can get a sample of some local beer. Now, after you're visiting some of the distilleries, you want to leave time to visit the Waco Mammoth National Museum to get a little peek at history. Now, that is the Woolly Mammoth Museum. So pretty cool. You're able to see some of the woolly mammoth artifacts that were found in the Waco area. And for you people that are obsessed with Dr. Pepper, there is a Dr. Pepper museum located in Waco. So if you're a Dr. Pepper fan and you love drinking Dr. Pepper, go to Waco and visit the Dr. Pepper Museum. I don't think there's any other Dr. Pepper museums in the world.
I don't think so.
All right. So enjoy your trip to Waco and give yourself some time on the weekends, because it does get busy.
All right, so our next stop is really one of our favorite places to go, and that's the Colorado Bend State Park. That's about 196 miles south. It's going to take you about 3.5 hours, maybe 4, depending on where you are in Texas and, of course, the time of the day that you're driving. But when you get to the Colorado Bend State Park, you're going to question if you're still in Texas. I know there's a lot of people that have said, I never had an idea that a place like this in Texas existed. So it's absolutely beautiful. So when you embark on your first 3-mile trip on Gorman Falls, you're going to see why. This 60 to 70 foot waterfall is truly amazing. This is like something that you would probably find somewhere in Costa Rica, right? It's just absolutely beautiful. There are also 5,300 plus miles or acres of hiking and biking that you can do. So you can also kayak on the Colorado River. You can cool off in one of the many cool springs that you're going to find along the way. And you can also pitch a tent and do a little fishing. So this weekend getaway really doesn't entail any of the urban type of lifestyle, like the restaurant and the bars and, concerts. This is really just getting away from the hustle and the bustle of your city life in Dallas, right? So it's a place to get away, get connected with nature. So it really is breathtaking. It's just a place that you should really make it on the top of your list to go visit.
All right, so another one of our weekend getaways that you probably haven't heard of is Marble Falls. Now, Marble Falls is, again, a couple of hundred miles southwest of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So it's going to take you about 3.5 hours. So give yourself some time. Now, Marble Falls is one of those small towns that you can visit a couple of times again and again. And there's still going to be different things that you have never seen in that area. Marble Falls is located in the Texas Hill Country, and because it's located right off of Marble Lake, lake activities are going to be the center of attraction for that area. You're going to be able to do all the water activities like fishing, kayaking, boating, jet skiing, and there's a company down there called Wakes to You, and if you're interested in wakeboarding, they will teach you how to wakeboard and to surf as well on the lake. Now, of course, there are other things to do when you're not on the water. So Marble Falls has a variety of different kinds of entertainment and places to go when you're hitting the dry land. There's some local craft breweries like Bear King Brewing and Save the World Brewery. For the wine aficionado, there is Flat Creek Winery Vineyards. You can also do some exploring on the hiking trails at the Balcones Canyonland National Wildlife Refuge. Boy, that's a mouthful. Or underground caves at the Longhorn Caverns State Park. And if you like to do that, then they do have guided tours available. Now, I did that one time climbing through the caves, and it gets a little crowded. So if you get a little claustrophobic, be careful, but enjoy some of the underground caves that you can explore there. And if you visit during springtime, don't forget to check out the Texas bluebonnets. Now, the Texas bluebonnet is the state flower of Texas, and they grow abundantly on the Highland Lakes Bluebonnet Trail. It's beautiful. You just see miles and miles of the Texas bluebonnets, and you could stop and take a picture just like you do around the Dallas area, but you're not on the side of the freeway causing an accident. Now, of course, there are places to eat in Marble Falls. So in the downtown area, you can stop by some of the local restaurants. You can enjoy some Mexican food and a margarita at the Jardine Corona, or you can have a cheeseburger and a beer at the River City Grill. So again, it's a small little town. It's nothing fancy. It's not five-star dining, but it's a great place to visit because it's part of that Texas Hill Country that is a beautiful drive to get to as well.
So San Antonio is a major city in South Central Texas, and it's a great getaway from the Dallas Metroplex. And also a little bit of history on San Antonio. In 1836, there was a historical battle that took place at the infamous Alamo when Texas won its independence from Mexico. So you got to stop at the Alamo. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But San Antonio is a vibrant city. It is full of color, culture, flavors, and experience. And with all the history and things to do in San Antonio, this really should be at the top of your list if you've never been there. The Riverwalk is probably the first place that everybody stops. Now, this is a 2.5 mile long river that is beautifully landscaped, and it's home to the most spectacular hotels, bars, restaurants, nightclubs, shopping, and businesses in San Antonio. And it really is a great place to be, especially at night. The most popular spot is the loop between the San Fernando Cathedral and the Market Street, which is adjacent to the Alamo. Now, close to the Riverwalk, you're going to find the charming little area known as La Villita, which means the small village. Here, you're going to find some local artists. You're going to learn more about the rich and beautiful history of this amazing city, San Antonio.
San Antonio has numerous historical sites for you to check out. And a must-do for you history lovers is the San Antonio Mission Trail. So the hike and bike trail, which is along the San Antonio River, connects all 5 missions, which include the Alamo, Mission Concepcion, Mission San Jose, Mission San Juan, and Mission Espada. So each mission is about 2.5 miles away from each other. So that's a little bit of a hike. It could get hot during the day. So again, make sure you bring plenty of water, but it's well worth the trip because that is part of the culture and the history of San Antonio are the missions. Now, if you want something a little bit different, a little bit more thrilling and exciting, don't forget to get your tickets to the Six Flags amusement park, or make sure you go visit Shamu at SeaWorld as well, because that is part of the San Antonio culture that you're going to enjoy.
And don't forget that we have included a link on each of the cities down below so that you can go ahead and plan your trip and have fun.
All right, so there are so many other great places to visit around Texas, but that's enough to get you started on some of your weekend getaways. So we really appreciate you guys sticking around till the end here. We hope that you got somewhat of an idea of what there is to do on the weekends around the Dallas area and where to go to get away and be cool, get a little culture, get some great food, and have a good time.
And remember, if you're needing to move in the next few days, next few weeks, next few months, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. All our information is down below. We would love to help you make that smooth move into the Dallas area. But until then, we look forward to showing you around town the next time. Take care, guys. Bye.